All right, let's dive into this explainer and, well, kind of dismantle everything you thought you knew about how your mind works. We're going to explore some absolutely groundbreaking neuroscience today that completely flips our understanding of human behavior, emotion, and trauma right on its head.
So let me ask you something. Are you a puppet to your emotions? I mean, it's an everyday feeling for most of us, isn't it? We feel like we're just reactive creatures. You know, if it rains outside, we feel sad. If someone sends us a nasty message, we get angry. We basically go through life feeling like a puppet, totally convinced that our emotions are just automatic, unavoidable reactions to whatever the world throws at us.
But, science actually tells a completely different story. The myth, the thing we all just assume is true, is that we sense something and then we react to it. But the reality? Your brain actually acts first by predicting and then senses the world afterwards. You act and then you sense. Your brain isn't a reactive organ at all. It's a predictive machine, literally constantly guessing what's going to happen next based on your past experiences.
Okay, I know that sounds wild, like totally backward. So let's actually prove this counterintuitive science in real time. I want you to pause for a second. We're going to picture something really specific in your mind's eye, just to see exactly how this predictive brain of yours works. Right now, I want you to imagine a Granny Smith apple. Picture its bright, vibrant green color. Now imagine grabbing it and taking a massive bite. Hear that crisp, juicy crunch in your head. Think about that sweet and tart taste hitting your tongue. Is your mouth watering a little bit? Well, if we were imaging your brain right now, and don't worry, we aren't, we would see your visual and auditory cortexes firing, literally preparing your body for that apple, even though there's no physical apple anywhere near you. Your brain is actively changing the firing of its own sensory neurons in pure anticipation.
And this brilliantly illustrates the power of prediction. Think about the last time you were just incredibly thirsty. You chug a huge glass of water and your thirst goes away instantly, right? But biologically speaking, it takes a full 20 minutes for that water to actually reach your bloodstream and hydrate you. You stop feeling thirsty immediately because your brain anticipates the hydration long before it physically happens. You predict, you act, and then you sense.
Section 1. How we construct meaning. Because think about it. If our brains are just predicting based on the past, how on earth do we actually assign meaning to the things happening around us right now? Well, to understand this, let's look at a simple silver cup. Does this cup have an inherent, objective meaning built into it? No, absolutely not. Its meaning is entirely constructed by what your brain prepares your body to do with it in that exact moment. It could be a drinking vessel, but hey, if you throw it at someone, it suddenly becomes a weapon. If you put some roses in it, it's a flower vase. Meaning isn't built into the object itself. Meaning is the relationship between the object and the actions your brain is predicting for you. And this brings us to a really profound understanding of our pasts. Take trauma, for instance. It isn't just an objective event that exists out there in the world. It's entirely about personal meaning. Trauma is essentially the brain mapping a past memory onto a present physical sensation. The physical signals happening in your body right now, they have no inherent psychological meaning until your brain uses your unique memories to create that meaning. Which leads us to Section 2, Managing Your Body Budget. So, understanding why the brain predicts in the first place brings us straight out of psychology and into biology. Why does our brain spend so much precious energy anticipating what's next? Well, it all comes down to a process called allostasis. You can think of this as the biological business model of your body. Your brain's primary job actually isn't thinking, feeling, or seeing. Its number one, most absolutely crucial job is running a strict metabolic budget for your body. Budgeting things like salt, glucose, oxygen, and water, anticipating your needs, and preparing to meet them before they even arise.
Think of it like this. Your energy budget is strictly divided. You only have a finite amount of energy every single day. It goes towards vital functions, growth and repair, and effortful tasks, which, by the way, includes dealing with stress and learning new things. So if you have chronic stress, systemic inflammation, or honestly, just terrible sleep, your budget is completely drained by those baseline vital functions. You're left metabolically bankrupt with literally zero energy left over for emotional regulation or learning. Now, this forces us to completely reframe some deeply misunderstood conditions. We've been told for years, right, that things like depression and anxiety are merely simple chemical imbalances. But modern neuroscience is actually pointing us in a totally different direction. They're often severe body budget deficits or misfiring prediction models. When you just don't have the metabolic energy to take in new information, your brain gets stuck. It just keeps playing out its old, unupdated predictions over and over again.
All right, Section 3, rewiring your future reality.
But here is the incredibly empowering news in all of this. If the present basically just becomes the past that dictates your future predictions, well, that means we have incredible agency. We can literally change our future reality. There's this story of a world-class 10th degree karate sensei giving advice to a tiny 12-year-old girl right before she had to spar with these hulking older boys. He told her, "Get your butterflies flying in formation." He didn't tell her to calm down because her brain had already mobilized the energy she needed to fight. Instead of letting her brain label that intense physical arousal as anxiety, he helped her redefine it as determination. Same exact physical state, entirely different meaning and action.
Now, I want to pause here for a second and stress an absolutely crucial distinction. When we talk about changing your reality, we have to separate culpability from responsibility. You are absolutely not to blame for the bad things that have happened to you in the past or the trauma you might carry. But because you are the literal architect of your own mind, you are the only one with the responsibility and the agency to change your lived experience moving forward.
So how do we actually do that? Well, by utilizing what neuroscientists call a prediction error. This is when you deliberately expose yourself to novel sensory signals that you didn't predict, which effectively forces your brain to realize it guessed wrong and update its internal models. Whether it's exposure therapy to overcome a fear of bees or doing high-intensity interval training for your muscles, it's essentially the exact same mechanism. It's interval training for your brain to make it more flexible.
So practically speaking, how do we curate these new experiences? Well, first, change your context. Mix up your environment. Second, practice new behaviors. You can't just think your way out of a problem. You have to physically act differently to create a new prediction. And third, manage social contagion. Seriously, be careful of the digital environments and the people you surround yourself with, because human beings actually regulate each other's nervous systems. By doing these things, you are intentionally writing the automatic predictions of who you will be tomorrow.
And this is what you should truly take away from this explainer. You do not have some fixed, enduring biological identity. You aren't permanently broken. You are simply what you do in the moment. By creating a brand new pattern of action in the present, you literally create a new memory that your brain will then use to predict a completely different future.
Which leaves us with this final, really powerful question. Your present experiences are the seeds of your future predictions. So what seeds will you plant today? I challenge you to step out of the illusion that you're just a puppet reacting to a chaotic world. You are the architect of your own mind. Now it's time to start building.